The Honor 20 series will be fully revealed on the 24th of May at a launch event in London. And from the leaks, it seems like the Pro model at least will have a very similar camera setup to the mighty P30 Pro. The time of flight sensor will be present, as well as some kind of periscope style zoom. Not sure if it will have the 48 megapixel main sensor like we've seen on the Honor View 20, or if it will have the super spectrum sensor. I think it will probably be the former. I don't think Huawei will want to match the capabilities of its new flagship, but I could be wrong. Either way, it's going to be a strong camera setup. But until then, we have the Lite version, coming in at $249.99 and available from the 14th of May. Before we go on, let me say a big thank you to Direct Mobiles. Over 24 years of award-winning customer service and comparison tools to make sure that you're going to get the best deal on your next handset. Check down in the video description below for a link, or you can search directmobiles.co.uk. Typical for an Honor device, you've got a dazzling pattern across the back, which reflects the light thanks to its 8-layer manufacturing process. Looks-wise, well, it's a nice looking device, almost identical to the P30 Lite. The only real differences, apart from the iridescent paint job, is that the camera bump is quite a bit less pronounced on the Honor device. Specs are suspiciously similar too. It comes running the Kirin 710 processor with 4GB of RAM and 128GB of onboard storage. The display is a 6.2-inch IPS LCD with 1080 by 2340 resolution and in a 19.5:9 aspect ratio. Honor say that it has a 90% screen to body ratio, but what do you guys think? This device does have some pretty healthy bezels all around, and that chin isn't exactly what I would call small. The dewdrop style notch does, I suppose, help a bit with that screen to body ratio. It houses a 32 megapixel front facing camera, and so far I'm quite pleased with it. More on the camera in a bit. Power and volume rockers are found on the right hand side. Nothing to the left side, just smooth aluminium, and on the top you'll find the SIM card tray, which does support dual SIMs or one SIM and a micro SD card. And then underneath there is a headphone jack, a downfiring speaker, and you'll find a micro USB port. You know, I honestly thought that 2019 was going to be the year that they killed off the micro USB, but it seems like they're still knocking them out. Power comes from a 3400 mAh battery, which is plenty of capacity for a phone like this. And so far the battery life that I'm getting has been very good. Unlocking the device is done with a fingerprint scanner which is placed on the back, but there is also face unlock, which uses the front camera and the AI software to recognize you for fast unlocking. And I find it to be probably just a little bit quicker than using the fingerprint scanner itself. Which brings me neatly to the triple lens AI camera system on the back. The Honor 20 Lite has a 24 megapixel main sensor with an f1.8 lens. This is a Quadra CFA sensor, or color filter array, which Honor says boosts the sensitivity by allowing more light to pass through it. Similar tech to the Sony 48 megapixel sensor that we've seen pop up in a few devices already this year, and so far so good. Ultra wide angle shots are nice and the distortion is very well controlled. And while there is no zoom lens, it did surprise me with the quality of the digital zoom. The maximum magnification is 6 times, and as you can see from these shots, it does a pretty good job. Honor are calling it a flagship level camera, and while that might seem like a little bit of a stretch, it does perform very well, especially on a beautiful day in London. One way that I tend to judge whether a camera is any good or not is actually how much I enjoy using it. The end results, yes, while they're important, are not the be all and end all for me, and as it happens, I do enjoy using this camera. The main shooting modes in the camera app are aperture, which allows you to simulate a narrow or a wide aperture, and then there's night mode, which will get you a reasonably good shot in very poor conditions. Portrait mode is there, allowing you to isolate your subject and blur out the background. Only works when the face is detected. Photo is the regular shooting mode, and it allows you to switch between the ultra wide angle lens, the normal lens, as well as zoom up to 6 times. Video is next to that, which also offers a 6 times zoom, as well as beautifying effects, although I wouldn't really go there. The max video resolution is 1080p 60 frames per second, and there's no image stabilization at all, so it's going to make for some pretty shaky videos, unless you put it on a tripod. And then under the More tab we have the Pro mode, giving you full control of all the camera settings, slow motion, which lets you shoot at either 120 frames per second or 480 frames per second. Then there's panorama and AR lens, which are both a bit
bring that ass back like a boom 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 boom.
Light painting mode is here, which I absolutely love, and then finally there's HDR, time-lapse, filters and stickers. Almost identical to the Huawei P30 Lite that I reviewed just the other day. But I will say one thing, I did mention in that video that I'm not really a big fan of the filters, but that's not really fair as the filters are actually quite good. I do like them. And I do like how they can be added to video as well as photo and even adjusted while recording. Altogether, it's not too bad. It is priced right and it's got some strong hardware in there with the 4GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. The camera is surprisingly capable as well. It's running on EMUI 9 with the Kirin 710 and that is a tried and tested formula. And this phone's performance just confirms this. I'm perfectly happy with the speed and I've not noticed any stuttering or apps taking long to open. GPU Turbo 2.0 is here as well, so it should happily run long gaming sessions without getting too hot and dropping frames. It's basically a cheaper P30 Lite, although it is let down slightly by the lack of USB Type-C connectivity. And as pretty as that back cover is, it is plastic, so in the hand it doesn't quite feel as nice quality wise as the P30 Lite. But it is £100 cheaper, more or less, and it has a 32 megapixel front facing camera compared to the 24 megapixels on the P30 Lite. So it's not all bad. But anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, guys. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. It's at Btekt, or add me on Snapchat, david.btekt. If you enjoyed this video, then it'd be great if you could hit the subscribe button, double tap notifications and smash the like button. I've got lots more reviews and comparisons on the way. Thanks for watching, my name's David and this is Btekt.